Hey guys out in Triple N, I've been having some fun doing these how-to videos, so I decided to do another one. This one is on rubber mounting the rear of expansion chambers. I'm working on a really nice 1974 500, unrestored. It does have unifilters on it and a set of Higgsbees. As usual, the rear of the pipes were just hard mounted with the foot peg mount and just tight on the back of the mount. I don't like this. I've seen rear mounts crack and pipes fall off. It's happened to me. So I decided I was going to rubber mount the backs of these Higgsbees. It's not a big deal, but I thought I would go ahead and do a little video on it. It's pretty simple. Doesn't take too long to do. I started out headed to the hardware store and picked up a sleeve that was pretty close, or as close as I could get to the foot peg bolt. I stuck it in a vise and drilled it out. It was just a little bit too small still, so what you can do is just put a little squeeze on it and then re-drill it, turn it 90 degrees, and re-drill it again. And once it springs back to shape, usually it'll be about the right size. This doesn't have to be perfect, but I just wanted to make sure I could get a nice slide through with the bolt there. So this is where I drilled it through. I was checking. It was just a bit too tight, so I'm going to go ahead and drill through it again with a little more squeeze on it. And once that's done, we're going to go to the next section, which is where I show you how I mark that sleeve so I can cut it off in sections that are just wide enough to fit the rubber bushings, and that comes in right about here.
Okay, so I take the inner sleeve. I just mark it with magic marker. You can use bluing if you want to feel better about it. But so we measured, and the width is just at 6.5 millimeters. So I just mark it, and all the way around. So now that's marked all the way around. Then I take a bolt I don't care about. This is an old something or other bolt. And slip it on there for control. This way I can hold it. This part doesn't come flying off. Now when I grind it, I'm going to grind it away from that line. So I'll actually be grinding down to that line to make it make sure it's nice and flat. So this thing's noisy, so Okay. Check the internals are clear. And let's see. 2. And of course, I can't find the other grommet. Here it is. Okay, and then you just slip on. See how it fits. It's just a hair longer. So now we have our 3 shims. So now to modify the pipes. Okay, here's the Higgsy pipes, and these grommets are going to go here and on the other side, so when you tighten the bolt down it's against the metal, and this lets the pipes move around. But we have to open up that hole, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the caliper and put this down right here for a second. Yeah, it's not a big deal, probably see that, and just measure how big this hole needs to be. No crushing, and that's showing about 15.5 millimeters, a little under. So this hole is about 11. So let's see. .5. Yeah, and that'll leave plenty of metal up top for support. So basically now I'm just going to take my rotary burr and my drill and just carefully start opening up those holes. Not a big deal, nothing needs to be watched, just be careful. And I'll do that next. Okay, this isn't precision engineering, but you want to get as close as you can. Now, what I'll do, you can either mark off the circle if you'd like. What I like to do is I've been grinding for years, so I can get pretty darn close. When you're grinding a larger hole like this without a drill or whatever, just take your measurement, and then as you go, you can just measure to see where you're at, and you can see, just run it around like that. And so this hole is pretty darn round for what we need. So next what we'll do is, I'll just drop this here real quick so you can kind of see. And actually, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Now before I fit the bushing, you don't want this sharp metal from grinding or drilling to cut into the rubber. So I just use a nice little round file, and you can just, I've already done it, but just to illustrate. Sometimes they have deburring tools, you can use those. Just takes a minute to do it this way. So as I said, I've already done it, so there's no sharp edges there. So next what you want to do is fit in your rubber bushing. Okie dokie. And make sure it's in the groove in the front and rear. And then let's see how this fits. This might take 2 hands. So I really do need a camera stand. I don't even know if you can see that. But and if it's being difficult, you can always use a little bit of lube in there. But okay. So now we have our bush in there, and we can just do a quickie test fit. Goes through there. Make sure your bush is bottoming out against the in the back there, against the mount, so you're not tightening up against the rubber. And so that's fitting nicely in there. So that's looking good. So that's pretty much it. I'll do the back pipe the same way, open that up. And then I bought a brand new, I'm going to shorten this bolt. It just looks bad sticking out that far, so I'm going to shorten up that peg bolt. And then I got a brand new lock nut, nylock for it. And we'll pop that on, and when we tighten it down, it's going to tighten it down against these sleeves. And so now these pipes have some movement in there, so it doesn't start stressing these really bad from the vibration. And that's basically how you just you do it this way with a bushing like that. There's a few different ways of doing it, but this is pretty much the easiest way for me. Oop, blood! But that always happens. But not a big deal. But that's basically how to put a bush in an expansion chamber. And like I said, this is I'd rather put a little extra work in and not have to worry about pipe cracking and falling down or falling off or whatever. Because I actually had one fall off many years ago. It was my first triple because I didn't know, and it was a big, thick, heavy pipe, and it actually broke through, fell off, and a car ran over it, of course. So there you go, guys. That's how I do this. Oh, and again, use your own discrepancy and use at your own discretion, and your results may vary. This is no guarantee of anything, just a process on how of doing it, or how to do it. Alright, see you guys. Alright, well, here's a finished project, at least on the right hand side. I've got this tight with a nylon nut. So this isn't going to turn. We have to get them foot peg, obviously. But as you can see, these pipes can move up and down and around. And you guys that know me for decades, or almost 2 decades, know my motto is if it doesn't flop, it's going to drop. So now these pipes can move around, and you don't have to worry about stressing out these welds or this piece of metal. Now I've heard stainless is a little bit more brittle and work hardened, so that vibration moving around is going to, if it was bolted tight, going to possibly work harden and make it crack. So this is just something I like to do. It makes me feel better. Like I said, I've never had a rubber mount pipe ever crack a bracket. So, but that's what she looks like.